The first part of the meeting, the annual meeting to order, the annual meeting that we have to have first. Again, this is to, I'll make some comments. Well, I'll make some comments after the election of the chair and vice chair. But the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority, Portsmouth Redevelopment Board of Commissioners meetings are held the third Thursday of each month at 5:30. Meetings are normally conducted at PRHA's main office, but to get us out, we're having it here at Phoebus today, and it was posted. I saw it was posted there on the wall. The meeting is being held at 606 Phoebus Street, Portsmouth, Virginia. All members of the public are welcome to attend virtually. So again, we're going to do the first part, which is our annual meeting. So we call to order, and Miss Secretary, if you could do the roll, I appreciate it.
Commissioner, Commissioner Cox. Here. Commissioner Jiggets. Here. Commissioner Frank. Commissioner Pickens.
Here.
Commissioner Wick. Here. Chair Lalonde.
Here. And just for the record, Commissioner Prince did call and say that he's on his way. He's stuck in traffic right now, but he's on his way, and hopefully he'll be here in time for the regular meeting. Right. So let's do the elections first. So I need nominations on the floor for chair of the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority.
Nominate Chairman Lalonde.
Okay, we have a second. Second, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Lisa, if we could go around. Is there any other nominations? All right, we'll hold the slate closed. And Ms. Secretary, I guess we need a vote on the chair.
Commissioner Cox. Yes. Commissioner Jiggets. Yes. Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Wick.
Yes.
Commissioner Lalonde.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your confidence and talking more about some of the successes. Now I'm going to open up the floor for nominations for vice chair. And I personally would like to nominate Ms. Renee Wicks for vice chair. And I need a second. Oh, okay. Is there any other nominations? Okay, so we have two. Any other nominations? All right, I need a second on the two nominations. We've got Ms. Wicks and Ms. Jiggets. Second. Okay, we have a second. Right. Ms. Secretary?
Commissioner Cox.
You know who you're going to vote for. We have two nominations. We've got Ms. Wicks and Ms. Jiggets.
Commissioner Jiggets. Yes.
That's for yourself. You're voting for yourself, okay?
Commissioner
No, ma'am, we're asking. I'm in with the procedure. What's the procedure that we should be doing?
So what we can do is put the first nomination on the floor. So first nomination was Ms. Wick.
Yeah.
And then the second nomination was Ms. Jiggets.
I just
So you got your individual roll call.
individual roll call. That's a yes or a no vote.
Yes.
Okay. My apologies. So we're going back for Ms. Wicks, who was the first nominated, a yes or no vote on her nomination.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So are we able to complete this vote without all the commission seats?
We have a quorum. We have a quorum, so we're voting. Yes, sir. So it's a yes or no vote on Ms. Wicks as vice chairman. Right?
Commissioner Cox. No. Commissioner Jiggets. No. Commissioner Pickens.
No.
Commissioner Wick.
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Okay, so now we go to the second nomination, which is Ms. Commissioner Jiggets for vice chair. And again, this is a yes or a no vote. All right.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Jiggets. Yes. Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks.
No.
Chair Lalonde.
No. So we have a new vice chair. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Look forward to working with you. At this point, I just wanted to, since this is an annual meeting, Is there any other things that we need to do on that? If you've been on that? Yes, sir. I just wanted to, since it is an annual meeting, and since we are televised, I just wanted for the public to kind of take a step back on what we've accomplished since our last annual meeting, some of our major accomplishments. And they're no way in any type of order, but we did have our first tennis move into Lexington Place, which I think is just a very beautiful facility that we have in off of DC Boulevard. We were one of the 10 housing organizations in the state, in the nation, that was approved for the Move to Work program. We had a very clean audit. Financially, we came up with a clean audit. On our Section 8 Management Association program, we got a perfect score for 2019, 145 points out of 145 points. And then lastly, we started the move out of the tenants in Swanson. We were approved as vouchers at Swanson. So I just wanted us to kind of take a step back for a second and know that this board, the staff, I just want to say thank you very much. It's been a tremendous amount of work. We've talked about before that this is a $200 million organization. You have revenues of $29 million a year. So this is no small business that you're managing. We have roughly 4,000 families that we're supporting, a little under 2,000 for that are in public housing. We have a little under 2,000 that have the housing choice vouchers. So we do, given that there's only population of 94,000 in the city of Portsmouth, I'm going to say roughly we're supporting 10 to 12,000 people here in the city of Portsmouth. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your effort. Staff, thank you for how well you've done. We've definitely got some speed bumps. We've definitely got some places that we need to go. But we had a very, very, very good year, given that we had the pandemic. I think y'all did very well. So I look forward to working with Ms. Jiggets as the vice chair and the rest of the commissioners. Mr. Clifton, Mr. Pickens, it is great having you on the team. Thank you very much. Before I adjourn, I would like to make some recommendations on committees. If there's some discussions, if we could have it after the meeting or after, just give me a call. But these are the committees that I asked for reports during the regular meeting. On housing, I've got Ms. Jiggets, and you're on housing now, right? And Ms. Wicks. On finance, myself and Mr. Pickens. On development, I got Mr. Barham and Ms. Cost. You're presently on development. On HR, Ms. Cost, I'd like you to move to HR, please. And also Mr. Prince is on HR. And then for governance, that'll be Ms. Jiggets, you and I on governance. Okay. I'm going to challenge the housing, Ms. Jiggets and Ms. Wicks. I'm going to challenge you about the security. I do want you to keep that focused, and we'll talk more about security in the regular meeting. With HR, Ms. Koff and Mr. Prince, I want you all to start looking, I would like an evaluation of the ED by December, all right? And also I would like you to start the discussions on Mr. Bland's intent, also whether we need to do a search committee for the new ED. And then lastly, I've talked to Mr. Bland about it. I'd like us to formalize some sort of employee report program, some employee recognition program for the staff. On governance, Ms. Jiggets, our responsibility to see if we can get all the board members certified within the next 2 years. That'll be our number one goal. All board members are certified. Okay. So with that in mind, any as far as the annual meeting or the overall business, any oh by the ways? All right. With that, I adjourn the annual meeting. Now we're going to move into the regular meeting. Do I need to do a roll call on that? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So move to the regular meeting of September 16, 2021 here at Viva Square. Ms. Elise, you've got the roll call again.
Commissioner Cost? Here. Commissioner Pickens?
Here.
Commissioner Wicks?
Here.
Vice Chair Jiggets? Here. Chair Lamont?
Yeah. The first order is the minutes from August 19, 2021. I think they were sent out a while ago, and I guess you got all the comments that you needed, Ms. Marshall, and they were included. Okay. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes that were submitted.
I make a motion to.
Thank you, Ms. Wicks, and second? Second, okay. Take the vote, Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wick,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggett,
I have to stay now looking at that.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes, thank you. From our last meeting, I wanted to bring you all up to speed. Security remains the #1 issue. As you all know, we had a shooting at Swanson. A young man, 24 years old, got blown away on a drive-by. The car continued to go to Dale and hit 3 cars at Dale. Luckily, and I appreciate again the staff, the vision that Mr. Bland had, we had it on camera. So the police were able to see the car. I'm not aware of where we're at with the information there. But security remains the #1 issue that we have in our housing. With that, we have elevated Mr. Mark Gonzalez and Mark Sanders, right? Mark is now our head of security. We had to, because of the responsibilities that have been put upon us, we now have 4 people on our payroll to do security. I'll talk a little bit more about some conversations I've had with the city manager. We've trash at the Dale continues to be a problem. We have purchased the cans. They have been delivered to the public works, public utility people for them to put in place. And then we'll be putting, hopefully within the week, we'll be putting them at Dale. Hopefully the folks at Dale will help us out with the trash that's there. We are still having significant problems with vacancies. We've got system managers, we've got maintenance folks, we just can't get people to apply for jobs. And we're feeling it, all right? As I've talked to the city manager, we have spent right now about 1.2 million in security, and the time is coming now where these residents are asking for maintenance repairs, and we're having to make some decisions between maintenance and security. And I'm taking right now the issues on security, all right? As I said, I had a call with the city manager the other day. She said that they're talking about it. They're going to see what they can do about it. She referred me to the new police chief for help. I'm just going to go on record that I'm a little confused about more talk. All right. As I told the city manager, we had a 24-year-old boy with 7 bullets in him. I don't know how much more talking we can do. All right. But as I said, we hired a security. We've got Mr. Gonzalez here as our security person. We've run him through the courts to give him access so he can have some responsibilities that we have never taken on before when it comes to security. And the 3 more people that he has, he's being as visible as he possibly can. But I just want to say personally, Mr. Gonzalez and your folks, thank you. I am very, very confused when I have 4 people who have to go to work and they got to wear a vest, a bulletproof vest to go to work. I'm very confused about that. And I'm very confused that a man who I don't even know if he's married, I don't know if he has children, I don't know why we have to put him into that area to try and help our residents out. So the city manager let me know that there was going to be a press conference tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen at 12 tomorrow, but I hope we can see some positive results in Dale, Swanson, and the other housing developments that we've had. The last one, I was a little confused. We had a meeting with the vice chair, vice mayor, DeAndre Barnes, and there were some comments made that he had gotten a briefing by EDA that, and I'm just going to put it out there, that these car washes that are going up all over the city, that this board was the one that initiated all the car washes. Okay, and we let the vice chair know that that was not the case. That was not the case, and their information was incorrect. As y'all know, anything we do, anything with whether I've never had a car wash that I'm aware of come to us for any type of approval, but there's some misinformation being put out about what we're involved in, right? So those are my remarks, and we'll go on with the rest of the meeting, and I'll look forward to comments from everybody else. Right. Councilman Battle, I see you're here, sir. We have a place for you on the agenda. Thank you for joining us here at Phoebus. We've got some great people here, and we're going to be bringing some of the other ones in here to see what they have to talk about. But you've got the floor, Councilman Bell.
I'm very interested in security for our seniors. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. I want them to have a safe environment. I don't care what it takes. I would like for your security system and our police department, sheriff's department to become more effective, collaborating, working together. That's one piece that I'm interested in. Another piece that I'm interested in is we have to have programs for these youth. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We have to make sure that we have proper staffing and a collaborated effort between the city and you all to provide these services. I like for them to be combined with the same services that the city provides for the other youth. There's a lot of nonprofit folk in our city. They get funds to do services for the kids. And that's nice, that's well. But we have so many, and they're not working in unison, so they can be more effective working together under the umbrella of the city manager, making it a collaborative city effort. Now, if we don't get things like that in place, we're never going to turn our youth around. Now, in reference to security, our FBI get every conversation on this phone. When the young kids are getting ready to do their shooting, they get on this phone and say, we're going to meet here tomorrow, or we're going to meet here tonight. And they are not making us aware of this. They are, because they know. Because again, everything goes through these phones and other things, they know about it. So we need to communicate with them, the security folks, or communicate with the city, our police in the city and the sheriff's department. And maybe we can prevent, not maybe, we can prevent some of these killings, but they are not communicating with us. Again, they hear everything that those kids talk about. And so this is just some things that I know and I feel in my heart that will improve the quality of life for the citizens in the city. Now, we have so many agencies. We got the school board, we got this, the city manager, we have the director here. They got to work better together. I mean, this one will go this way and he's doing this and they're doing that, but we gotta work together. The only way we can solve these problems is working together. Richmond can't solve them, Norfolk can't solve them, and I won't insult my citizens by saying, well, we'll look at somebody else's program. No, we're intelligent enough to put our own programs together and become impactful to improve the quality of life for our citizens. Now, I've said to all of them, everybody, all of the departments, if there's anything I can do, if there's any channel that's not open, that I can't open, I'll try. But we must work together. And first and foremost, again, I'm going to get with the sheriff and the chief of police and see can we work with your people to ensure the safety here. And we're gonna also get with the FBI to see, can they start letting them know rather than sitting back, allowing this stuff to happen. That's all. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Councilman. Thanks, Councilman. I'll just, comment again, I, just so you know, this chairman has personally had conversations with the mayor. This chairman has personally had conversations with the city manager. This chairman has personally had conversations with the police chief.
And I know that.
And in every conversation, they told me to go talk to somebody else. So with that in mind, we hired that man and brought 4 people aboard because I don't have time to talk to folks anymore.
Right.
When that young man had those 7 bullets in him, I was asked to be patient. And my comment was, I don't know what to say to his mother, who he lives with, that he should have been patient. We should have been patient about him. So, Councilman, I appreciate it.
Well, let me
I- I-
say that.
I don't,
Let
I'm
me
not
say
we're out
that.
of time.
Well, let me say this. When I say this is a collaborative effort, we have mothers who will see their teenage children with guns and not call the police to make us aware that they have the gun. So you see, everybody has to contribute. The community, you know when your son is or your daughter's going wrong. And if you can't handle it, they need to call for assistance, folk to come and try and turn that youth around. But again, our society has kind of dwelled in our folk that Black lives really don't matter. And that's the gospel. And our youth are beginning to believe that, and they don't have the training where they living, where they reside, to help them to dream and aspire to longevity. They are depressed because of their situation, and there's nobody there to help them out. And again, the parents are not calling for help a lot of times, but that's the only way we're gonna stop this. It's everybody puts skin in the game. I'm putting skin in the game, and I'm asking everybody else to put skin in the game. But my seniors, again, I'm gonna get with the police and the sheriff's department, we are gonna take care of things. Now, in reference to the car washes, we have an economic plan that we put together. Let me explain this to you. We're building the casino. Now, we have land in that area, and we're trying to acquire that land through our EDA so we can accommodate the casino with businesses that are gonna help them to succeed and bring a greater economic impact to our city, such as the hotel. We need a hotel in that area. And so we don't want a car wash over there. Now, I don't know who's letting this Mr. Green get in all these different places, but that's not what we need. We have to strategically put things in place to kind of accommodate and help the businesses around them to survive and thrive. And that's why we don't care about Mr. Green. What they've done, there's a group, in essence, that are getting the money, COVID money for the green. And they are trying to take advantage and put those car washes everywhere. And we don't need that. And I'm not saying, and I'm sure Mr. Barnes wasn't saying that you all were involved in it, because we don't know. But we just want to make it emphatically clear that we have a strategical purpose here. And I'm a competitor. I don't intend for portion to lag behind Virginia Beach and Norfolk and anybody. Because those cities thrive by our success, okay? A lot of our businesses went over there. We have the oldest shipyard in the country, and that shipyard helped this country to be established. We ship more goods and services than anywhere in the world, right here in Port Norfolk. But see, our folk don't know that. So what we're doing is we're trying to put the pieces in place that will make us one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful city in this area. And we're gonna walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. We're gonna try to take care of these kids, provide the security here, to hear the economic development. We're gonna put fingers in all the holes in the dikes. And I'm gonna stop at this point, but I wanted to explain the purpose and the function and the rationale of what we're doing. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. And, not only do we appreciate your being a liaison with the board, sir, but as a Portsmouth citizen, your past track record in supporting the youth and the seniors in this town has been fantastic. So as a Portsmouth citizen, thank you very much.
That's one more thing.
What you've done throughout your history.
That's right. Let's make it emphatically clear. You don't have a man, woman, chick, or child that has been involved in more revitalization than I have.
Yes, sir.
And the most important pieces to that revitalization funding came from my ingenuity and my training.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go down to committees here, and, just Pickens, with all due regard, I met with Shannon, this afternoon on the finances. We have no new developments, as y'all know, we had a clean audit from the last one. The focus is going to be on the next audit. We've got a couple HUD discrepancies that we're going to be working through, but there'll be more to be said about that as they develop out. But as y'all got the finances last quarter, we're sitting where we need to be right now on finance. Shannon, do you have anything else that you want to add? Development, Ms. Cobb?
We have a couple of issues we're discussing in closed session a little later. But we have an update on Swanson. The solicitation began on September the 9th. We're in on September the 30th. The buyer will buy as is and will be responsible for demolition. We have capital improvements that have been started in Westbury, Pioneer, Holly, and then Seaboard will start in October. That's all we have for development, other than closed session.
Thank you. Human resources, Ms. White, is that you?
It is. Right now, we're still just individually going over the huge, human resources, public, and we're planning to meet in the next 2 weeks and put our heads together so we can come up with
Correct.
no new news right now.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Scott, back to you in housing.
Okay, I'm gonna do the HCV and this vice chair Jig is gonna do the housing part.
Okay.
Okay, so I start with HCV. We are offering new and existing landlord sign-on bonuses with execution of HAP contract. Inspectors also helping out with the recruitment of landlords. We also continue with mainstream voucher holder search for housing and also continuing issuing and determining eligibility for federal unification applicants. We have executed the MOU with the continual care for the emergency vouchers. We have started receiving 2 referrals and working on those referrals now. We also received notification of the tenant protection voucher program for Swanson Home. I will start issuing vouchers soon.
Thank you. Ms. Jig.
Yes, before I start, let me just say to Commissioner Cost, it's been a pleasure working with you on the housing committee. And it's been a pleasure working with Director Tom and Director Stevens. Together, we've had a well-oiled machine, and directors have kept us thoroughly abreast and drawing from Commissioner Clark's experience. I hate to see you go, but I know you do great things with the Human Resource Committee also. With that said, there were, quite a few, residents from Lexington Square who had some concerns at the last meeting. And, those concerns have been addressed. I can go address by address if you prefer, or I can just say I'm confident based on what I was provided that those, concerns have been rectified. In a couple cases, it was not the housing authority's responsibility. It actually were things that the residents did that were not in good content. For example, the illegal hookup of a washing machine and dryer in a unit and some other things. But I just, wanted to say that. So Chair, do you concur? I do address by address?
No, ma'am, we're good, we're good.
You're good, okay.
Thank you.
And then to also say that the contractors will be on site to replace all primer traps at Lexington Place on September the 17th, tomorrow. And hopefully this will finalize when we the lease. And also that Housing Authority is collaborating with the City of Portsmouth Parks and Recreation to host an instructional program providing middle school and high school students enhanced activities after school to help students set up goals and to give them programming to help with reaching their goals. And the program will be located at Swanson Homes, Lexington Place, and Seaboard Square. And I just think this is absolutely fantastic. And I also believe that the Parks and Rec department, to me, is where they should have strong oversight over making sure all of the various agencies link together for youth activities. Because it is so important. We cannot emphasize that enough. And the Housing Authority, we're behind you. We're behind you. We grew up in this city also, and we understand how it takes all rising tides will lift all ships, and that's true. And the housing department is continuing to assist the residents with their rental accounts through the rental relief program, and payments are being made on the residents' behalf. And at that, I will ask Director Jenkins and Director Thomas, would you like to add anything?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Again, thank you all. Thank you, Commissioner Cox. It's been a pleasure. Go ahead.
I just had a question. You said that the, contract would be on the 17th for the primer tracks. Who determined that that was the issue?
Oh, we had a meeting with our agreement and, I was at, well, when
That was the breeding, the architect, engineers, assigned to the project, went on site.
Okay,
So the primary tracks were backing up, all the needs that are over. So they're gonna provide a different primer, which is a better solution. So it doesn't have to go one is an open primer, the water should be removed directly.
So the one that was completed, that was done already, if the address that she listed,
Those primary tracks were cleaned out,
okay,
but they didn't have to still be replaced with the new sheet.
okay.
All right, thank you.
I did want to say one thing. I did drive through, Lexington Place last Friday. And of course, they don't have the individual trash receptacles, and, it broke my heart because the main wood gates, and I took pictures, the main wood gate was left open for the various, the large dumpsters, the main, and someone, and clarify me on this, selection. I'm pretty sure it was probably one of the contractors. They left like rolls of insulation by the dumpster can. Should they be doing that, or when they do their work, should they be hauling them away? whatever they have from doing their replacement. I feel they should haul away their stuff and don't load down, the resident stuff.
We can check.
Yeah,
And I took a picture of them.
Okay.
they supposed to haul everything.
They did, they did, so I did want to, bring that to your attention. Councilman.
Sure.
We understand that reading is one of the most important things in the world. And when you're doing your reading programs, the greatest thing that will assist you in accomplishing your goal is positive reinforcement.
Exactly.
That means I'm gonna ask my colleagues to put aside funds so we can have snacks, we can have toys, and we can try and take the kids out to different events on the weekend. You see, they are missing the things like that, you know. And if they don't get pat on the back and, oh, that was good and so forth, it's gonna be dry and dull to them. So we need to make it as exciting as we can for them. And again, I know it takes money, and I'm just 1/7 of the council, but I'm gonna ask my colleagues to put aside some funds so you can lavishly, I'm not saying a little bit, so you can lavishly reinforce these kids, because that will help them, and I think it's only right. Yeah, thank you.
I agree, and I did want this in reinforce that program, that instructional programming program that you all are working with, Parks and Recs, with these students. I think that is phenomenal. And that will go a long way to engage kids. So they are a different generation. They are virtual visual, and that engages them.
Thank you. And Mr. Blaine, I'm gonna challenge you and your staff. I was just looking at all, Mr. Councilman Battle got a good point about the collaboration. We've got a Come to Home Portrait program for first-time home buyers. We've got the Senior Home Repair Program that another agency is putting out. We got Public Utilities putting out the Municipal Facility Relief Program. We've got social services on the rent program. We've got a lot of programs that we're assuming our tenants know how to fill out the form, that they know how to do a computer, that they know how to send them out. And I know that's not true. That is not true. So I'm going to challenge you, Mr. Blaine, and your staff. How can we, one thing to put this on the door, but how can we help our tenants to fill these forms? I mean, I know that sounds so simple, but there's just, I don't know if it's a common computer room or something, but we need to make ourselves, much like income tax returns, we need to make ourselves available certain times of the year to help fill out these forms. The last one on the governance committee, we talked about that the challenge is going to be that over the next 2 years that all commissioners get certified. This is going to be done by attending there's a lot of seminars and meetings that come up. Mr. Blaine will provide that to each one of y'all, but I encourage y'all to go there, right? With that in mind, Mr. Blaine, you're up.
Okay, I'll tell our responsibility is finished. I don't need to talk about accident, but that was taken care of. Appreciate that. And trash cans was already talked about. Mtw plan, the presentation will be presented to the board in November, because then after that, we have to get it to so you will do a presentation in November to the board on Mtw plan.
You might want to talk for the maybe not go into.
Mtw, so moving to work, we're doing what we call the rent demonstration piece. We're one of the 10 housing authorities that was selected in the last round to do the rent piece of the Mtw plan. And other stuff I had on here, already been talked about, so I'm not going to bring that back up. Outside of moving to work, that place is
Okay, we've got two action items on resolutions. Yes, we talk about the first one, 2021 to 28, who's going to speak to that?
I will.
Good evening again, everyone. Resolution 2028-21 is to provide an amendment to our current contract with ELA Holding Corporation doing business as Turnkey Technology. This is a firm that we issued that was selected after we issued an RFP back in December the 3rd in 2019. And that RFP was to provide video surveillance systems for authority properties. Primarily, it was Seaboard Square and Swanton Home at the time because of our funding source. Last month, y'all actually was presented with an amendment to the contract to provide those video surveillance systems, include cameras, monitors, for Dale 1 and 2, because we had funding source for that. And I'm here tonight, and I'm happy to say that the city has agreed to fund the purchase and installation of video surveillance systems for Hamilton Place and Lexington, to assist in combating our resident safety and security issues. And so, we have had increased security measures such as hiring and retired police officers and sheriff patrols, but as you know, the video surveillance system provide an extra layer of protection and oversight to our communities. And so, and this system is very similar to the systems that we have in Seaboard, Swanson, and Dale, and it will allow the authority security officers and the Portsmouth Police Department to monitor our communities virtually. And we've seen recently how well those systems work. So they definitely provide additional eyes on our community setting. So to increase the safety and well-being of and remain responsive to our residents, we're requesting board approval to increase the value of ELA Holding Corporation doing business as Turnkey Technology contract by $78,260 for those two sites, and their contract will have a new value of $483,328.
Any discussions? This is to expand our coverage of security cameras to Dale 1 and Lexington.
No, that's Lexington.
Lexington, yes. Any discussion?
I have to say, actually, you know, Commissioner Chitty, we talked about the family and down, take those cameras, put them on Facebook.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, because of the funding source, it was the capital fund emergency safety grant, we had to put those cameras in public housing. But once was demolished, you can't rethink of.
I can move to.
Okay, so we have I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2021-28. Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wick,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggett,
Yes.
Chair Lamont.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Plan, I'm going to have you talk the next resolution 2021-31 regarding electronic meeting participation.
Okay, resolution 2021-31, resolution adopting the Board of Commissioners electronic meeting participation policy on the Sunday care.
Good evening. Briefly, the resolution involves the code section that require FOIA that requires certain procedures for board members who can participate electronically, remote by electronic or remote means under circumstances, and it's in the memo. Basically, if there's if the board member is ill, or if a member of their family is ill and it prevents them from attending the meeting, they can participate remotely. And the other option, they have a personal matter, they can remotely participate, and that's twice a year. But the law also requires the policy enacted by the public body to be able to have these remote electronic meetings policies that we can follow. So that's the basis of the resolution. Is there any questions?
My understanding was that this was put on the books July of 2018, so it's been there, so our role here is we have to officially adopt it, that we're allowing board members, for those reasons that Attorney James allows them two times a year, if there's something personal or medical that you have to miss a meeting, that will arrange for somehow electronically for you to participate in the meetings.
And only two times.
Twice a year.
Correct, the calendar year.
Yeah.
In the calendar year. And what are the reasons, what are the excuses that they can? Again,
It's a personal matter,
Mhm.
or if they're ill and they can't attend the meeting, or if they have a relative that's ill, they have to, be with, and for that reason, they can't attend the meeting. So those are the, basis for not attending.
So when was our calendar year start?
Well, I think it's a calendar year would depend, the second calendar year, February 1 to December 30.
Right, okay, so we're already in it.
Correct,
Yes.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to accept the resolution 2021-31, adopting Board of Commissioners electronic meeting participation policy?
I'm motion for a second.
I got a motion, and a second, Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Witt,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggett,
Yes.
Chair Lamont.
Yes. I'm going to give just a couple minutes. We have some folks outside. If someone could walk out, let the folks know that we're going to go into the public portion of it for comments. Just kind of come on in, and I guess we'll have to make sure we got things. Because we're a public body, we're required to allow time for the public to speak, all right? Anybody that would like to make a comment, if you could come up here, because what you're hearing, this is all recorded. Everything is recorded, your comments are recorded. I'd ask that you come up to the front here, just sit in this seat right here. It's being recorded on that little device that's right there on the table, all right? If you could give us your name, clearly give your name and your address, and also Ms. Marshall, can I ask you to write it down too, in case we don't hear you clearly. And you're allowed 5 minutes to speak on whatever topic that you have, all right? So I know there's some folks here that came very early, so I'll start in the back and see if there's anybody here that would like to come up to speak. Sure, come on. Again, just speak clearly, let us know your name and your address, sir. And you've got 5 minutes. And Ms. Marshall, I'm going to leave it up to you to do comments, okay? And again, if anybody needs a drink, there's water, sodas in the refrigerator, if anybody needs anything, okay?
Okay, my name is,
Speak right to that box, right there, sir.
okay. My name is Robert Swanson, and I live in apartment 327 here at Peterson Square. What I wanted to talk about today was that this past August, when I renewed my lease here, I was told that HUD had upped everybody or lowered everybody's utility allowance, so everybody would have to pay an extra $40 a month because of what HUD had done with raising or lowering, I can't remember which it is, our utility allowance. So everybody has to pay in here, and probably everybody in public housing has to pay an extra $40 a month. Now that is kind of hard for some of us that are on fixed income to have to do that. And I would like to ask for you guys here that are in PHRA to talk with HUD about either getting that lowered or else, giving us maybe a break on our rent for that $40 until HUD goes back to changing, that utility allowance. Because it's a very big hardship on everybody here. The other thing, that y'all were talking about is, safety, is that I believe that, and this is me personally, that everybody in the city of Portsmouth should get vaccinated. If it was made mandatory, for people to get vaccinated, then we wouldn't have to wear these masks anymore. We'd be able to go about our lives as normal. You know, a lot of people talk about individual rights. Well, the situation is that when your individual rights affect another person, and that's when your individual rights need to be reevaluated. Because as long as a person doesn't get vaccinated, they're susceptible to catching the virus and then giving it to somebody else. So you have to think not only about yourself, but you have to think about the other people around you. You have to think about your neighbor. You have to think about your loved one. You have to think about all that. So when the president is asking for people to get vaccinated and trying to make it mandatory for people to get vaccinated, it's only for the safety of everybody in the United States, for everybody, so that we can go back to living our lives normally again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bland, I'm gonna add, you individually, as they come up with, you could make sure that the individual person is responded to. Ms. Marshall, if you could put a synopsis of all the responses and post it somewhere down here so that all the residents know what was, even though they weren't, just kind of after, you know, in a week or so, you could kind of post in the front office here, so everyone knows all the things that were discussed here. Okay, all right, all right? Well, again, write your name on a piece of paper, and then, if you can clearly, we've got a little bit of an echo in the room here, so if you could just clearly speak into the microphone there, and you've got 5 minutes to speak, man.
Good evening, everybody. I am Carolyn Stevens. I'm a resident here at Feeders, been here for 12 years. Actually, the 9th of October. And I do have some concerns. I'm kind of glad to have you all here today. I wish that you all could come off, and because they prepare for you all, we've been here all the time. We haven't got any paint. So they painted for you all, clean up for you all. So it would be nice if you had some time that you could pull the rest of the deal. Okay. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with the director and the deputy director here, and we had some concerns. The one concern was safety and security. I understand, I heard during the day that they had put something in place, and Councilman Ballard also speak on it. Because when I moved in, I was one of the first 22 moved in, we had security 24 hours. And it was wonderful, and then it changed. The last security company we had was from 5 in the evening to 10 at night. I don't know why they think we need security at those hours. But Mr. Bland had told us in an association, we had an association here where I organized with one of the managers and was led as president for a while. We're in the process of doing that again. But Mr. Bland came into an association meeting, also in a rare board meeting, and he explained to us that security was not here for the residents. They were here for his building, okay? Which I thought was awful, and that's Mr. Bland, no, I told him, okay, we discussed it. But I'm glad to hear that something is going to be put in place as far as security. Because we have people coming in and out the doors, popping the doors open, leaving them open. And I personally don't feel as safe now as I did at one time. Because you walk down the hall, you don't know who you're gonna walk into. to go to the senior complex, but they have all these young people, you know, walking up and down the halls and coming out of the bathrooms and all these kinds of things, okay? So I'm glad to hear that something's going to be done about security. The other thing, we started, paying water bills for about, maybe put 4 years in, Mr. Graham? Is it? Okay. And we have yet to get current water bills. They went back to when they started. And I don't understand how they're reading meters from 3-4 years back. But we have not received, and I meant to bring my bill so you can see it. We have not received current bills, and I don't understand how that's happening. There are some people, and I don't know why they're not in here today, that's still getting outrageous bills. One lady was getting bills $80 and $90. These are one-bedroom apartments, unless you got 2 or 3 families in them, you know. And we're paying for HRSD, and I feel like that's a water treatment bill. We're not homeowners, so we shouldn't be paying it. In spite, I was told we're getting a utility allowance. That's good, but it doesn't cover it for everybody. You understand? So these are things that were brought up in the meeting. We haven't heard anything back from them or gotten any resolve from them, but these are things that I really wanted to address with you guys. So I'm glad that you are here today, so I get an opportunity to do that. And I think they're the main things that I wanted to bring up. Okay, but again, the cleanliness and all of this place, I mean, you know, we live here. And if I'm a resident here and you require me to keep my apartment clean, free of bugs and all of that, and you walk in the front door and roaches meet you at the door, or you walk down the hall and they're crawling up the wall, or you're in the washroom and they're crawling all around the floor, you got to move your budget to keep them from getting in that and carrying it back in your apartment. I don't have roaches in my apartment, have never had roaches. Okay? And we have pest controllers here two or three times a week. It lets me know that maybe you need to do something that talk to that pest control, or you need to hire another one. So those are the problems.
I have a question. The water bill, are you now getting them monthly?
I'm sorry?
Do you get your water bills each month?
Sometimes, and sometimes they don't read them every 30 days. They read them maybe every 40 to 45 days. So that means you get a huge bill.
And one more, do you have exterminators coming regularly?
I'm sorry?
Is there an exterminator that comes regularly?
Yes, they come once a month.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you still have a problem.
Yeah, and you still have their problem, and you see them sometimes 2 or 3 days here. I don't know if they're doing certain people's apartments or how they're doing it, you know. But, and like I said, if you all have time, you might not today, and we might come back another day and take a tour of the field and we'll see how it feels.
I didn't want to, this is the time, because I used to, as a volunteer, I did Meals on Wheels, and this location was one of the, locations where I had Meals on Wheels recipients.
Yeah, we still have some.
And I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, if a resident props the door open so that someone who's not a resident can get in, that's grounds for their lease to be terminated. That's what I was told. Is that true? Can anybody look at that, Mr. Dyer?
No,
I always had to, I had to use that keypad for the specific resident whose apartment I was going to deliver. And I remember them telling me that they're very strict here, and if you give the code to someone who's not a resident, all of those are grounds.
that used to be, but you report these things and nothing is ever done. And that's why they keep right on doing what they're doing. Because nothing is ever done. It's, you know.
I just want to personally thank Ms. Edie. I've had to get out for about 6 months. I've been in the chamber for about 6 months, and Ms. Edie has not been shy about calling. So I really appreciate that. If there's one person of all the housing units that we have that really has a passion for making sure the right things are done, Ms. Edie, and I just appreciate it, man. We're going to do the best we can. But I do want to echo Mr. Gonzalez, who's standing there. That's the man you want to see. All right. As I said early on when we first talked, security is our #1 concern right now. We're not depending on anybody else. We're gonna try and help you as much as we can. But I'm gonna ask, I'm not here to lecture folks, but you have got to keep that back door shut. You've got to keep that back door shut. I drive through here, a couple of the housing units, that door's propped open. I'm asking, we could, we'll kick the stick out that's there, but it doesn't do us any good when we come by here 1 o'clock in the morning, that thing's propped open. So we need help with that. I'm not asking for any other help on anything else. I'm just asking, keep that back door locked, please. Okay, all right. Anyone else? This is your time, this is your meeting. We're here, we've decided to start moving out into the housing areas because we truly want to make sure you see the staff, they're here. Got Mr. Blaine's here. We've got some excellent commissioners. We all represent parts of the city. Mr. Sean Prince just came in. Sean is working right now in Richmond, but he made sure he got here. He called us, he's been calling us about every half hour to let us know that the traffic's horrible coming down from Richmond, but he made a point to make sure we're here.
It wasn't Richmond, it was the top.
Well, okay. We do care as much as we can do, all right? Yes, sir. Just write your name right there, sir, and give us your name and your, what unit you're in, and you've got 5 minutes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Sherman Mills. I've been living in this apartment 2 years. On the issue, I got one problem with that. These buildings is bug infested. They're bug infested. They need to do something about it. They're coming out of the walls, all of the doors, all out the showers sometimes. Only they might be in the walls somewhere. This building is really bug infested. They come on the main, that's the main issue is safety. You gotta take care of that. For real. And then half of the time the doors, they still won't even broke half of the time. 9 times out of 10, sometimes they deny. I see people around the building, I don't know what's around here. They ain't got no business around here. You know, something like that. Again, like I said, they're good neighbors and good residents. You know. But the issue is they got they're scared, some scared to tell the truth what time they do. Something like that. You know. Everything else we're not really good. But after that, I got to see what her name is, Lisa. She worked with people all the time. She really not working with folks. But sometimes then they need to get transportation and take these people off the more functional stuff. They ain't got the right step to the plate for that. You know, to get people where they gotta go. Half of them can't get to the doctor, half of the time, because the medical trucks don't come. They say they're coming in late, something else going on. That's why I had a lot of stuff going like that. You know, and like I said, it's a good place to be, but my main issue is the affection of the mood and stuff, right? That's what you mean.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, back on what he said about
Yes, ma'am.
transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
That's something else we are in dire need of, and that is a van for senior transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
The van that we have is the city's van, but it is seniors last day. So we really do need a senior's van that seniors can get up and down. Because with this one, you have to put stool out there for people to stand up on and get up there.
Mr. Bland, who's our executive director, meets with the city manager, and that is, again, he's got on the clock. All right? Anybody else? Sure. I just, again, personally, I want, on behalf of the board, thank you for your patience, for being here for this meeting. Thank you very much for the discussion. This was the first facility when I came on board as a commissioner. This was the first facility I came to. And I know that some rug issues, paint issues, all the things that y'all are talking about. I appreciate what the staff has done to try and help us, but we got a way to go. I mean, we're not done, and things aren't perfect. The bug issue, my own house, I've had exterminators out there 3 times, and I don't know enough about bugs. They tell me that there's a new bug called a German cockroach that's out. It's the little black bug. I don't know what kind of bugs you're always seeing, but I've had them out 3 times in my house, and it was supposedly brought in by cardboard. you know, get pieces of food delivered, it's in the boxes, and you can't kill them. You've gotta put traps in where they take the stuff back to the net, and you gotta kill the eggs. They said it is, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. My pest guy told me it's gonna take at least a year for me to eradicate it. But the only way for me to stop it is I gotta stop having the food delivered to the house. And I know we can't do that. We just wanna make you aware that it's called a German cockroach. It's about the size of a little black bug. Okay, that's what, I didn't hear anybody talk about what kind of one you all see. Anything else, anybody else? I want to make sure everybody's got time, right? Thank you very much. If y'all want to leave, well, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. We're gonna go in closed session now. We've got some development matters we're gonna talk about. We've got some property we're gonna be working on. But I just want to say thank you very much, okay? And my name is Bruce, thank you. Hang out there. I'm going to read resolution 2021-29, resolution of the meeting closed session. Whereas the Virginia Freedom of Information Act provides that the commissioners convene a closed meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act, will reconvene a closed meeting. So, Ms. Martin.
Mr. Cox? Yes. Mr. Higgins?
Yes.
Mr. Wick? Yes. Vice Chair Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. All right, now we're going into closed session, grab some to eat, let everybody leave, all right?